Hiya! Have you been missing a good break-breaking game like legendary Breakout or Arkanoid on modern PCs? Would you like to play something again that preserves the simple but catching gameplay of the original and adds some modern innovative ideas? Welcome to watching VideoGaming Father's video review of a humorous ball-bouncing brick-breaking game with cute little creatures called Doughlings Arcade. Is it a game that lets you remember the hours spent by playing those ageless classics? Has it managed to add some inventive features that enhance the year's proven gameplay? And is it a family-friendly game with presence of local multiplayer? Just bear with me for the next few minutes to get all essential details that might help you to decide whether we have found a worthy successor of brick-breaking legends or if it is just a hopeless attempt to return that genre to the screens of our PCs. Such a game cannot even have any story, can it? Well, you might get surprised. Just don't get overly excited. The cute little creatures called Doughlings were peacefully living in a dimension far away. They used to love watching other cultures and impersonating them. However, nothing remains ideal forever. One terrible day, a meteor fell from the heavens on their home planet. They have not extinguished like dinosaurs, but the meteor released a poisonous gas that affected Doughlings one by one. The intoxicated one went wild and then turned into stone. Luckily, brave Dr. Morpheus found a cure to save his people. Unluckily, he was attacked by his diseased kin. Now he's got just one option: to act quickly and save his folk before it's too late. Fine, this is probably not a material for a new movie script, but it can still make you pleased by nice comics-like sketches and dubbed narration. And of course, by the effort to give the player's future activities some sense. Now let's take a closer look at how the game is played. On the first side, Doughlings Arcade looks like some mix between Breakout, Puzzle Bobble with the creatures that are very similar to Puyos from the legendary Tetris-like game called Puyo Puyo. It's quite clear where the devs have taken the inspiration from. Does this mix of ingredients make a tasty dish? Player takes the role of Dr. Morpheus that substitutes the pedal from the classic Breakout. His task is to throw the healing ball against the rows of pasted Doughlings to cure them all and make them disappear. Before the first throw, you can see the ball trajectory, which reminds me of a Puzzle Bobble. Then can you affect the ball direction only by the position and speed of your pedal in good old Breakout style. Doughlings' disease has 5 phases: blue, green, yellow, red, and stone. This phase determines how many times you need to hit a particular Dougling with a healing ball to make him cured and disappear. Blue Dougling just once, green one twice, and so on. Your goal is to erase, and cure of course, as many Doughlings in each level as possible with a determined time limit. It doesn't seem like something overly inventive so far, does it? So what other stuff that enhances the gameplay can we find here? We could find power-ups in almost every Breakout clone and its successors that were randomly falling from some destroyed breaks. And you can find them in Doughlings Arcade as well. The difference is that they are not falling down randomly, but you can see them glued to the ward of Doughlings. They look like pieces of DNA helix and are distinguished by the colors. Hitting and catching them while they are falling can temporarily give Morpheus some special abilities. Morpheus can be turned into a green Hulk-like creature called Smash that is roughly 3 times his size, so it is much easier to catch the incoming ball. The Gunner form provides you with the ability to shoot at Doughlings for a limited time, while Robo form gives you the magnetic ability that attracts the ball to the Morpheus every time when it touches him, so you can precisely aim it to the spot where you want to have it hit next. The last Morpheus prom I have seen so far was the Web Spur, which turns him into a spider-like creature that can hit Doughlings with 2 balls at the same time. And there are supposed to be 2 more power-ups that I have not seen yet. It is nice to have them there, but it's nothing that one would not have seen in many Breakout clones before. The thing that distinguishes Doughlings from most of them is collecting thumbs up. But don't worry, there is not any social network in the game where you would need to chase for the fans to succeed. There is a thumb up dropping from each saved Dougling, and if you catch it, you light up a spotlight. Once you manage to light up 10 spotlights, you have a chance to activate a one-time special ability that depends on your current form. Classic Morpheus can activate the color ball that changes not just the color of hit Dougling, but also the color of all adjacent Douglings that were the same color as the one that the ball hit. This way you can effectively erase a bunch of creatures at once. In a Smash form, you can activate Thunderclap to hit every target on the screen. Gunner can slow down a time for a while, Robo can activate a laser blast that hits every target in a white column, and Webster has a safety web to prevent balls from falling. These special abilities can help you a lot to get rid of more creatures at once, so it's worth collecting falling thumbs up, as the time limit that you have to cure as many Douglings as possible is not endless. Is there something else yet?
Not bad, not bad.
Well, not much to be honest. From time to time you can find a heart that gives you an additional life. You have 3 lives in each level and lose the life every time when you don't catch a ball. And there is also a well-known 3-star ranking system. But here the number of stars that you get for an accomplished level doesn't matter on the score or number of cured Douglings, but simply on the number of stars that you have catch, as they are part of the game field. This makes you decide sometimes if you leave the star fall down uncaught because you need to catch the ball, or on the contrary to sacrifice 1 life to reach the perfect score for the level. Also, Douglings are glued to each other, so if you eliminate the top ones that the bottom ones are stuck to, the rest will fall down as it is, and you need to avoid a falling vote not to lose some score and also not to get slowed down. But again, there might be a star or some power up in the vote, so it's up to you to choose the lesser evil, which gives the game some small tactical element. And there is also a shop in the game where you can buy permanent upgrades for Morpheus and its forms. For example, you can upgrade the morph duration itself, duration of special action, or decrease the number of spotlights that you need to light up to get the color ball. Nothing that would surprise you by its originality, but as there are 5 upgrades for each Morpheus form, you will have a motivation to finish each level for 3 stars to collect as much of local currency as possible. Another motivation is to get the highest score possible, as you can compare your results with top 3 scores online. And there is also a level editor for creative people. I am only badly missing a local multiplayer in the game like this. Devs, it wouldn't be so difficult to implement it here, and it would help to increase the level of fun a lot. How about the game difficulty and controls? Doughlings Arcade is not a very difficult game, and with some effort you will be able to get 3 stars for each level, unlike in 10-second Ninja X that I have reviewed a while ago. It can still be challenging though. In later levels there are more and more Douglings to cure, and many of them are pretty close to Morpheus, so one doesn't have much time to catch that bounce ball, and the top 3 score results are pretty high, so you would really need to put a lot of effort to get to the podium if you have such ambition. I have managed to get to the 3rd place once out of 20 plus levels. But if you just play for fun, the game is perfectly accessible even for smaller kids. As for the controls, they are very simple. You just need the mouse to control Morpheus and his actions. The controls are responsive enough, not with the mouse with the rest of foot glued to it, of course, but still I have one complaint here. Sometimes it's really hard to predict the ball direction after its bounce of Morpheus. It's caused by the irregular shape of Morpheus itself. I appreciate the originality, but it was still easier to predict the ball bounce of the straight pedal than of the knobby creature. I consider it a little minus in the game that depends on precise aiming. Can the game audio visuals please your senses?
Laser blast. Gunner.
The graphics are simple but good looking, colorful, cheerful and undemanding, so the game can be played on low-end PCs without any problems. There could only be more variable backgrounds because to see the same background for the 10th time is a bit tedious. Same with the music. It nicely fits the game, but we will be listening to the same track and over again. Sounds are good, funny and distinctive. There are quite a lot of them, ball bouncing, various interjections made by Douglings, and great comments and narration by man voice with typical British accent, which helps to create a funny and relaxing game atmosphere.
The end is nigh.
So, has Doughlings Arcade succeeded on its mission to bring the classic brick-breaking game with some modern features to the screens of the 21st century computers? Let's start with the game pros. Classic brick-breaking concept that aged well, successful mix of Breakout and Puzzle Bobble concept, good level design, the presence of power-ups and permanent upgrades, reasonable difficulty, online leaderboard, responsive controls, nice graphic and good sounds with great dub narration. And here are the game cons. Unpredictability of ball bouncing direction when hitting Morpheus, low originality of upgrades and power-ups, very low variety of game backgrounds and music, absence of local multiplayer and creeping stereotype. The game costs €4 on Steam, which is not so much, so it's up to you if you want to wait for some discount this time. Doughlings Arcade is quite a good attempt to bring the traditional brick-breaking gameplay mixed with Puzzle Bobble mechanics and refreshed by some new features to the modern PCs. It's easy to learn, has a dynamic gameplay with short levels and responsive controls. This makes the game suitable for family playing, but it's badly missing the presence of some form of local multiplayer. I have enjoyed this game for a while, but cannot simply overlook its flaws and the feeling of early stereotypes, so I'm giving it thumbs up and VideoGaming Father's index 7- out of 10. Still recommended. Thank you for watching this video review, and if you have enjoyed it, please give it thumb up, and also please don't forget to subscribe to my VideoGaming Father's channel. See you soon!
Bad, not bad.